So we are going to Rani di sache de lusu yongzo ane tana ne ane pau tapomo mambo ane yore e phone number le ya ane chensu di chetu ane ondo tamachi maji and sheyi. So we are going to observe a 1 minute silence to deeply reflect those who have dedicated their lives for the sake of freedom, for the sake of Tibet as a nation, for the sake of Tibetan people. So therefore we would like to observe a 1 minute of silence. Thank you everyone. All 10 to stay, 10 number to student. Thank you so much. Please have a
So we are going to have our first we're going to have the president of the Tibetan community of NSW is going to speak about matters that is related to our activity of gathering together. So please welcome Mama Tibetan, the president of the Tibetan community of NSW.
대립대 상한 대대체는 정부의 가르치는 차원에 나도 국민 미래원 원행원이 소소토다 저왔던 거야 그렇게 치고 재미도 제가 야로 붙인 수레 본느리긴 전다 라라내봐 양따봐 실대 정된 제가 남해 가서 본느리게 생각을 스치하고 또 맡아야지 20년 넘게 제가 불빛전에 방해차가 니까보다 잡으면 걸려가지고 또 나도 타는 거고 나도 잡으면 그때 빼야 돼요 나도 참아오지 지금은 영화한테 쳤다 비행 참아 날로라 나도 잡아오면 이제 가든지 나라 나도 해야 돼 나도 나야 돌아야 막 쏘다 손님이 있다
as much as I can. We have to work so that change starts from individual. So then we have to believe an individual's effort will not change. But we must start from where? From individual.
다른 학생이 나도 평생 너무 싫다는 대답 다 드려요.
been too long, pointing out who's right or wrong. Can you hear me out? All we need is a little bit of love. Take time to heal, and it starts with us. Hand in hand, I put my trust. Him want glory, right? It's a must. Hold on to hope. We can overflow. We can break the code with the single note. Sing that for the world to hear. That our time is now. No more for tears. A new tint to the sunshine. A new day and a new life. Lift the violin, dwell so peaceful. Come together, one piece.
Nothing you try to have to do to capture the nothing you can try to turn the world. Something you can go in a something to come and start to do the people area. People who are there, Narachi, only to point people, you should get a car to come to people who are married. Not the point is you should go to life.
The world with peace, with sense, and even we were encouraged to develop full of kindness and compassion to even people who have come and destroyed our country and taken our country away. So therefore, His Holiness is very special for us. At this time, what has happened has really, really affected and hurted many Tibetans living overseas as well as Tibetans living in India. So the President of the Tibetan community is asking for the media to please do the due diligence. That is a clip that is screened out of social media. But rather look at the real picture of the 70 minutes of the very incident and then make a conclusion and report it accordingly. And so therefore, not paying the due diligence, and this has resulted, and unfortunately it has, it has managed to bring bad name to His Holiness, who has worked tirelessly for the sake of not just Tibetan people, but for the world itself. And you all know that Holiness is, recognized for his tireless work. So that's one thing, is asking the media people to please be responsible and reflect the facts, not the misinformation, and that is being pushed. That I think will do, even though there have been many important things have been mentioned. So then, going with the program, I would like to now invite on the stage Dondu Kinzong.
So today we are gathered here, Tibetan community members from across New South Wales and Australia, to stand in solidarity with His Holiness the Dalai Lama and fight the Chinese government's propaganda against the spiritual leader of Tibet, a global icon of peace and compassion. And we are issuing this statement to express our unwavering support and love for our leader, a global icon who has event in Dharamsala, India. We are here to tell our story. We are here to share our story and our culture, a culture that is rooted in compassion and nonviolence, a culture that is systematically destroyed by the Chinese government in Tibet and now today has been shockingly misunderstood by the media here in Australia and around the world. We are here to urge members of the public, the media, to understand the full story, to understand the context, and to explain that the Dalai Lama's interaction with the boy, which was a spontaneous display of affection and banter common in our culture. We are here to share the interviews with the child and the mother about their experiences meeting His Holiness Dalai Lama. Sadly, none of these perspectives or the context surrounding the interaction have been included in the barrage of media reports and online discussions. And here, this community, which includes many former political prisoners and survivors of torture under the Chinese government, has been re-traumatized by the response to this incident and is suffering significantly as a result. The voices of Tibetans in exile and under China's 7-decade-long colonial occupation in Tibet are today silenced in the media. And this is not an accident. It is a design of the Chinese government's propaganda, intimidation, and influence operations. Tibetans are desperately trying to get the truth out about the human rights abuses in Tibet. But to see that Tibet is today trending on social media due to the vilification of our leader and culture is heartbreaking. The Chinese government has forcibly removed nearly 1 million Tibetan children into colonial boarding schools, They have disappeared the Panchen Lama in 1995 when he was a 6-year-old boy, and to this day we do not know where he is. However, instead of reporting on the real issues facing Tibet, consistently ranked as the least free place on earth, the media has chosen to malign a man whose lifelong mission is to promote global peace, compassion, and the oneness of humanity. And make no mistake, and Tibetans will know this too, it is no surprise to us to see the Chinese government operatives and the trolls who have been working relentlessly to drive and amplify this story, maximizing views and outrage, and distorting the reality. They have tried to destroy the Dalai Lama's reputation and the Tibetan freedom movement for many decades. But of course, what we have seen in the last few days is a new level of cyber warfare that has been unleashed on the Tibetans. So we hope that today, with our statements and the video statements that we are sharing in the flyers that our young Tibetan community members are sharing with members of the public, will help everyone understand the full context of the event and appreciate that language, culture, and context define how people view any situation. In particular, I want to stress that it is instructive to hear what the child and the mother have said about their time with His Holiness Dalai Lama. And while we know that these statements by Tibetans may not satisfy everyone with their concerns, we do hope that the words of the child and the mother will help add context and clarify how they feel about what happened. And for Tibetans who see the video clip of the Dalai Lama's interaction with the child at a public event in February, note that this became a story only in April. It is clear that the Dalai Lama was displaying his affection, warmth, and humor, all very enduring qualities that thousands of Australians who have met or attended his public talks in Australia have witnessed over many, many years. And we are shocked that the Australian and the international media and many influential public figures have helped the Chinese government in its misinformation campaign by vilifying the leader of one of the most marginalized communities fighting for human rights and justice. So we are here today to urge the Australian media to listen and amplify Tibetan voices, especially when stories are written about us and our culture. Long life, long live, free Tibet,
Free Tibet!
free Tibet,
Free Tibet!
long live, long live. Because when it's teaching you should do so, that baby to that Jimmy Nalola, Ala Minakashiki, Kamorishela, Sinishuri, Natachare, May Mandu done normally, and they in Nizu, the Penny woman, the Suresina. You're not sure the water. You, Manzuki. Chili in Mala Tuba gets a pen to your mother. Jambu Tone. Kevin Tone, Mandu, then but the shake ready, taking Shibu, Penera Charge water, and they tell her, and if you mind you go to get a Mandu conduct to the Yomare. The dinner left name of Shibuture. Katapoto and Sameki have a word, right? Can I shungi and cockshaki, leave you complete video body? And to some tongue the word. Dinner Tande and Shiki and leave you the Gana Shugi, say Tobu Shibuji Bear. Zumbuli Nala, and it talk to Shibuji, Papa to Yamarobu Chegi, say that Pube, the Tapzula, who talk to Shibuji doing all the Pubeki, and it the Gipetala, Papa to send you the Lomkada, and Chizo Tagan Nangola, and do the Gipea, to show Shibuji Dobegi, and do the Pong to water. Nezu你呢？出来个呗，我最特别给妈推荐，你最舍不得钱了。你们你出去你是不是出去是不是这些个？ 딘데기 내단 차대고 딘데 단데기 투즈라 투즈 이시서피도 투즈 시비시게기 바라라 점올리 차자낭로라 니즈데 빼차래 딘디 페버스기 단데기 땅에 잡고 쉬고시나 먼저 투쇼 치어래 좋아 투쇼 땡땡 치어래 니즈 빼야기 토네 딘디 아니 단데기 니즈 땡에디 잡로라 야나 숑인베기 원상메기 원시데 토네 원주기 루기 빼사다 롱랑사디 야나 숑이 차대고래 미겔 직니다 아니 치기다 야가 이선유 빌럼 카디 쿠즈라 원주기 추치 토베 쿠즈 센 쿠토에 탐시 치오르마도 쿠즈르 투바 개체니 펜토에 개통문도 이바데 아니 원주 캠브로 미치 시대 데베 참닝지기 대별의 완전히 루와 이숨 상맥이 남주디 엔창그로미체기 세순기 지혜기 체도 인자 완전 남주디 루와 유숨기 주바키단데 아니 서머단체 아니 리규페의 패키지도 통되도 아니 그래야 시기 소에 프레슈에스나 딱하네 동디 아니 그것도 센슈 사와이네 체교 말에 다른 디네 노천이야 뭔가 싫어요래 디인디 아니 배밭 섬에 와 동서 치지기 토네 슈기초 하바도 슈기초 안들이 가장 먼저 블로그를 뭔가 쓰고 와 지도 자기에 말라 먼저 인스타그램 다 비디오들 뭔가 쉬고 딱 디기 그나저라 아니 인스타그램 쓰다 비디오 쓰다 정말 빽해버려 딱 디 먼저 표시 단체 배배기 배난이 배배내단 거라 캠브로미체기 판데기 misinformation campaign chorwa digala hatsu mangma sötbe 트리네 손체 소소소 담자 샤제 니기 지소 타겟이 그들 지자 지에다 캠브로미체기 세순급 지에기 리뷰비기 인스니 지소 타겟이 은표주 당야디 아니 dumzen디 담미디 지인사제特别学做了也应该把给第안 참으로 신심마샤베 토네 닝도 침베 토네 로와 딩은 줄라 다 발지 침부지 치에데 이네 먼저 표버스니데 로고 침버레 로와 닝도 침버레 딩드 자원니네 신심마샤베 토네 야나슈라 아니 못트네 갑대 자체 먼저 땜바 세트베디 아니 참으로라 아니 슈게로 체스 로와 참으로 동서 지리 치체 슈게로 체스 회게로 그치
Mr. Dori Tenzipulula, so he's going to help us lead this slogan. So Dori will
먼저 내 단다 슬로건 가시식 교도가 있나 얘는 예대백이 이지미도다 그거 많이 배면 전도라 다른직 그러와 의식이 통해 제도에게 나가지 세제 이 그나마야 제가 담세다 지금 가시식 도되게 이는 디기가 라만도 슬로건이 되어 있나 이제가 차 인교상 세자들의 이스상방도 슬로건 거다 이 클래스라 거다 예는 약속해 내가 이날에 네가 전에 직접 교도에서 뭐 이제 나로 치려고 와 지나도 락사는 냠도 와 tindugu래 상무도 media stop lagi 와 defending the Dalai Lama lai 세우셔서 media stop media stop media stop media stop we stand with the Dalai Lama lai with the Dalai Lama we stand Stop cultural genocide in Tibet, Leda. Stop cultural genocide. Stop cultural genocide. Stop killing in Tibet. Stop killing in Tibet. Stop killing in Tibet. Stop cultural genocide in Tibet. Long life! Long life! propaganda lada. Tata amzo ki kange di mangoji. Jana nalo lo do de. Di indi samalaya. Ani kya zo ke yo do samal. Ya lang de labo kya chidu ko ina. Physical NSW di sukjumo tugere samodo. Ani ya yengo da. 不过新剧的，实在另外一位那都是马上的也不多，什么 Stop celebrating 的话 CCP propaganda 来的 Stop celebrating Stop celebrating Stop celebrating Stop celebrating The Dalai Lama 那个话 Jesus better 来的 The Dalai Lama The Dalai Lama Symbol of compassion like the Dalai Lama is the Dalai Lama is the Dalai Lama is the Dalai Lama is Stop submitting CCP propaganda. Stop submitting CCP propaganda. Stop submitting CCP propaganda. Stop submitting CCP propaganda. 단다 지나마 디창으로 디창을 가져 되는 원리 지사와 있나 당은 차고와 대디 쪽어디 전에 주주 수박 마세파도 레고디 가져보다 사기 와 있는데 심지 전에 대쇼아 세딩의 비구인 보잖아.
So thank you so much, Tenzin Punto, Tenzin Punto, the Member of Parliament. That day, Mandu, Nabadu Samala, Autodition Shui, Mandu Dene, Kudu Chetu, Dene Shape, or the Dene Abachasare, and the Gindimanabe, Chapetin and Rua, Mandu Dunshana. They never come a German issues, the 이 바람바라래 남도 대화 착한다 대고 오려나 이 대반나 잘하다 제고 오려나 도도 도지 와 오늘 덤버 되는 것들이 도대체
the boys felt a lot more happier and had great experience. My question to you, for those who deepen into following the Dalai Lama, the mother, for children, I am Dr. Kaya Kanadia, trustee NCM Foundation. We have been working in Dharamshala in the skill center, which have started last year, and since then we were looking at seeking blessings from Tibetan. And you know, there is blessings from Tibetan. He can address us in person, feel together like brother and sister. And I absolutely cannot, express how I feel getting blessed by him. The boy's mother, with the doctor's qualification, was not traumatized after meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I want to ask you again, what do you have against His Holiness the Dalai Lama, our culture, and our religion? If the news and social media are really concerned about our culture, especially that young boy and his parents, His Holiness the Dalai Lama respects other cultures, cares about other human beings' feelings, no matter where you're from. He treated all the human beings like his brothers and sisters. That's why His Holiness apologized, not because he has done something wrong. Care, compassion, and forgiveness. Dalai Lama is everything to us. He is a father, mother, grandparents, spiritual leader, medical practitioner of our nation.
Is someone from Brisbane. His name is Drew Pablu, and he has been supporting Tibetan for 4 years at least. And then I regard him as a defender of human rights of Tibet, and also defender of human rights for people who are being persecuted. But before I do that, I like to say a few words in Tibetan. And I'm going to come and then during the night, this is the moment where you think it's not possible to learn. It's about the every session is in the around my family. And on the Nala, the Mongolia, they know the Mount Chawati, the Janama, the Kashan, we grew with heaven, Dana Shimon. So, having finished my little version.
Tortured by the Chinese Communist Party, tortured by the Chinese dictatorship over the past 70 years. Please, put your hand up if you have a family member or a friend, someone you love who has been taken away from you or killed, disappeared by the Chinese Communist Party over the past 73 years of invasion and occupation. Put your hand up. Let the record state, every single Tibetan here, 500 people, have their hands up. Every single person here has lost a loved one to the Chinese Communist Party. Murder, rape, torture. This is what the Chinese Communist Party has perpetrated on the Tibetan people. The Tibetan people have been invaded, they've been occupied, they've been colonized by the Chinese Communist Party. This colonization, this murder, this torture, it continues to the present day. So many people here have lost loved ones to the Chinese Communist Party. Yes, of course. My friend will interpret. Thank you. 3 years, the Chinese government has perpetrated imperialism upon the Tibetan people. This is imperialism. This is colonization. The Chinese government stole the Tibetan people's land. The Chinese government has tried to destroy the Tibetan people's culture, the Tibetan people's religion. For 73 years, Buddhists have been persecuted in Tibet. For 73 years, the persecution is ongoing. The Buddhist monasteries have been destroyed. Priceless cultural heritage that should be recognized as some of the most beautiful artworks that have ever been created by human beings. For 73 years, the Chinese dictatorship has repressed the Tibetan people, the most repressed place on earth, the least free place on earth. Tibet has lost its freedom. The Tibetans have lost their land, lost their culture. The Chinese government is carrying out genocide and attempt to destroy the Tibetan people, to destroy their religion, destroy their culture. 1/5 of the Tibetan people have been butchered by the Chinese government. Up to 1/5. More than 1 million have been butchered by the Chinese government. 1.2 million is the official figure given by the Tibetan government in exile. 1.2 million Tibetans have been butchered. Every single Tibetan here put their hand up when they were asked, do you know a relative, a friend, a family member who's been tortured, has been killed? This is what we're facing here. And yet, despite this, the most repressed people on earth, a minority group that has been facing persecution for decades, forgotten and ignored by the world. Yet despite this, you have all these media bloggers, the Chinese Communist Party propagandists, they have kicked the Tibetans while they're down. The Tibetans have suffered genocide, have lost their land, lost their people, lost their culture, almost everything. They've lost their people, their culture, their land, they've lost their homelands. The Tibetan people have lost almost everything at the hands of the brutal Chinese Communist Party regime. And yet still, people kick the Tibetan people when they're down. They kick the Tibetan people when they're down with the most false, malicious, brutal smears and lies that we've seen. Disgusting lies and smears. How can the media kick and brutalize a minority group that has lost so much? The Tibetans have lost so much, and yet the media...
네, 채소는데요. 그 제일 강한은 저 이나 상가 시에는 이게 파는 데서. 이제 이는 너무 양식이 완전히 후반용아 다시 내래 꽃차이. 꽃.
Why must the Tibetan people suffer so much? Why must they endure so much pain? Why? Why does the world forget the Tibetan people's plight? And the Tibetan people for 70 years, and people jump at the first chance they get to smear him and attack him and lie about him. We've got to say shame. We've got to say shame. For all the people who lied about the Dalai Lama, whether it be people like Louis Spears, Chinese Communist Party propagandists like that from Dalai, you know, massive media corporations like Sky News. You've got people. Please repeat. When I met His Holiness the Dalai Lama in December, he told me, do not hate the CCP, do not hate the oppressor, do not hate those who are persecuting us. And I can't, it's hard for me. I'm not enlightened like him. Not to hate the Chinese Communist Party. These are the people responsible for the torture, the murder, the persecution of the family members of so many people in this crowd today. So it's hard for me not to hate them. But His Holiness, he's a very enlightened person. He's a very enlightened being. And he tells us, do not hate your oppressor. Do not hate the Chinese Communist Party. The persecutors, the oppressors, it's hard. But we've got to keep, but even though we strive to keep hatred from our hearts, we must never stop striving for greater justice, never stop striving for freedom, striving to oppose the oppressor. We stand for the truth. People have faced genocide. We know that for 73 years the Chinese Communist Party has lied about the Tibetans, spread propaganda against the Tibetans, hateful propaganda. The propaganda of a colonizer. They say that the Tibetans are backwards. They try and demonize the Dalai Lama, they try and demonize the Tibetan people. They invent terrible lies saying the Tibetans are torturers. They lie about the Tibetan people. The Chinese government says that it brought freedom to Tibet. The Chinese government says that it liberated the Tibetan people. Yes or no? I want the crowd to tell me yes or no. Did it? Did the Chinese government free the Tibetan people? Did you want the Chinese government to come to Tibet? Did you want China to bring you so-called freedom? Do you need Chinese colonization? Does Tibet need China? Does Tibet want to be a part of China? Does Tibet want freedom? Do you want freedom? Do you want to go back to your home and see your family members? Do you want peace? Do you want love and compassion? Thank you, thank you. Free Tibet! 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 China out! China out! China out! China out! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Again, just tell us, yes or no, did China bring freedom to Tibet? No! Did you want China to come to Tibet? No! Did China liberate the Tibetan people as they say? No! Do you believe Chinese government propaganda about Tibet? No! Thank you. I think it's quite obvious. I think we all know that the Chinese government's lying. Yes or no? Yes! They're lying. Stop the lies! 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 Thank you. They say they brought freedom. They say they brought freedom. If they brought freedom, why have hundreds of Tibetans burned themselves alive over the last couple of years? That is not freedom.